Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive. This time we're going where romance meets murder with Scythe Sparrow.
Ooh, murder.
It's the final book.
Okay.
In Brynne Weaver's Ruinous Love Trilogy, we've got,
Sounds juicy.
a Goodreads description and a whole stack of reader reviews.
Love it.
So we're going to see what has everybody
Yeah, let's get into it.
so hooked.
What is it about this book that
Yeah.
has people going crazy?
Right.
Yeah.
So the premise itself is unusual.
It is.
We've got a doctor and a circus performer
Okay.
who also happens to be
A circus performer?
a serial killer.
Oh, wow, that's a combo.
Yeah, and they fall for each other.
It's giving me Dexter vibes, but like with a lot more heart.
Yeah, definitely.
And probably way more blood.
For sure, more
Yeah.
blood.
Yeah.
So let's start with the characters.
Okay.
We've got Dr. Fionn Kane
Dr. Fionn came.
hiding out in small-town Nebraska
Okay.
after some heartbreak and a career setback.
Hiding out.
Yeah, and he's sworn off love until Rose Evans comes crashing into his life.
Okay.
She's the circus performer with the
Deadly side hustle.
daily side hustle.
Yeah.
And it seems like readers are really captivated by Fionn.
They are.
He's described as nerdy, freaky, and hot.
I like him already.
He likes to crochet and watch reality dating shows.
Oh my God, he's like the perfect man.
But underneath it all,
Uh-oh.
there's this darkness.
Okay, I like it.
Some reviewers picked up on this like primal kink energy.
Oh yeah, I see that.
Yeah, one reviewer even said he's the kind of guy who'd be like, no one but you.
Oh yeah, intense.
Which I think is a little intense.
It's a little possessive, but in a hot way.
Maybe.
Maybe.
But interestingly, Fionn isn't the only Kane brother
Really,
with that appeal.
there's more.
There's two more brothers in this trilogy. And one reviewer thought that Rowan from a previous book was even hotter.
Oh, Rowan, I've heard of him. Yeah, he's supposed to be pretty steamy too.
Right.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Brynne Weaver, she knows how to write a hot guy. She does.
And then we have Rose, who's described as a chaotic, stabby little menace.
Chaotic, stabby little menace. I love her already.
But she is a terrible assassin
A terrible what?
because she can't stand the sight of blood.
Wait, what? So she's an assassin who can't stand the sight of blood.
I know, right?
That's hilarious.
It is, right.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
And the reviewers were cracking up about this. One reader said that she loved how Rose was ready to beat down another character with her crutches.
I mean, if you can't use a weapon, might as well use the crutches, right?
That's right.
That's awesome.
Like, she's tough in all the wrong ways.
It's not your typical killer profile.
Definitely not.
You know, it makes you wonder what kind of trauma would lead her down this path, right?
Yeah.
You don't become a blood-averse assassin overnight.
Right. That's a whole backstory we need to unpack there.
Exactly.
So it makes you wonder what's underneath it all. Why can't she stand the sight of blood if she's out there killing people?
And I think that's what makes her so intriguing, right? There's got to be this vulnerability there
Absolutely.
underneath that tough exterior.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes her feel real to readers.
So what about the dynamic between these two?
Oh, I want to hear about this, yeah.
One reviewer called it friends with benefits but make it murdery.
Friends with benefits, but make it murdery.
And somehow it works.
Okay.
They've got this intense connection.
Yeah.
And Fionn's desire to care for Rose really stood out to a lot of readers.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
It's interesting, right? Because friends with benefits is usually all about like keeping it casual.
Yeah.
But when you add murder to the mix,
Yeah.
it kind of becomes about something much deeper.
Right.
Like they're both living on the fringes of society.
Right.
And they find this sense of belonging in each other.
Totally. Like they're each other's person.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like their shared darkness
Yeah.
creates this unique bond.
Absolutely.
You wouldn't think that murder would bring people together,
Not typically, no.
but maybe it does.
It definitely makes you think differently about romance, right? Like what really makes a relationship work.
Totally.
It challenges all our assumptions.
Yeah. And so how do these two unlikely lovebirds end up entangled? Well, from the reviews, it sounds like a botched kill leads Rose straight to Fionn.
Oh, a botched kill.
Yeah.
Okay.
He takes her in to care for a broken leg and things get complicated.
Classic fast.
That's how we like it. Yeah.
And speaking of classic,
Uh-huh.
this book has some well-loved tropes.
Ooh, tropes. Give me the tropes.
We've got the touch her and die vibe,
Love it.
literally.
Okay.
And then there's the small town setting
Okay.
with Rose completely out of her element in Nebraska.
I mean, a circus performer in Nebraska, that's a fish out of water if I ever saw one.
For sure.
That's great. Yeah, and that adds a lot of humor to the story.
For sure. For sure.
And the reviewers raved about the supporting characters, particularly a trio they called the Suture sisters,
Suture sisters.
Barbara and Sandra.
Oh, I gotta meet these ladies.
I know, right?
Sounds like Brynne Weaver really knows how to bring the laughs.
She does.
Even in the darkest situations.
It's a tough balance.
It is.
But it sounds like she pulls it off.
Yeah, she does.
Based on the reviews.
Definitely.
And speaking of the reviews,
yeah.
let's talk about the romance and the spice.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like Weaver delivers
Yeah,
on both.
She does.
The bonus chapter and the steamy audiobook narration were a big hit with readers.
Yeah, I've heard about that bonus chapter.
Really?
Yeah, it's supposed to be...
Is it good?
Oh, it's fire.
Okay, good to know.
But, it's not just about the physical.
Right.
This book really goes deeper.
Does it?
One reviewer said that it's about loving the dark parts of you and letting the person you love the most see that darkness.
Oh.
I thought that was so beautiful.
Yeah.
It's so powerful.
It's really about acceptance and vulnerability.
Exactly.
And Fion's grand gestures were a big hit with the readers.
Oh, like what?
Driving 13 hours just to watch Rose perform.
No stuff.
From afar.
13 hours.
I know, right? And getting a tattoo of her heartbeat.
Okay, now that's dedication.
I know.
That's true love.
It really is.
He's going all out.
Right.
It's almost like he's trying to prove how much he loves her
Yeah.
to the world.
Yeah.
It's so sweet.
And the love letters.
Don't even get me started on the love letters.
Oh, they're good.
They're so good.
Okay, good.
Pure swoon-worthy material.
So it sounds like Weaver really created something special with Fion and Rose.
She did.
But we should remember this is the third book
Right.
in a trilogy.
Yeah, yes.
Butcher and Blackbird and Leather and Lark introduce us to Fion's brothers, Lachlan and Rowan.
The other Kane brothers.
Yes. And just like Fion, they seem to have a taste for murder and unconventional relationships.
So it's a family affair.
It is, right.
It makes you wonder, is it nature or nurture?
It does, right.
Oh.
Why are all three of these brothers entangled with these women who share their dark inclinations?
Like, are they drawn to them because of this shared darkness, or is there something deeper going on?
Yeah. Like they're all seeking a sense of belonging and understanding.
Maybe they found their tribe.
Yeah, like a community of like-minded individuals.
Yeah, who just get them.
Right, because it's not every day you find someone who's okay with your side hustle being murder.
It's not
at all.
That's a very specific type.
And I think that theme of belonging really resonates with readers.
It does, yeah.
It speaks to that universal human need for connection.
Absolutely.
Especially when we feel like outsiders or we have secrets that we're afraid to share.
Makes you wonder if there's a little bit of Fion and Rose in all of us.
Right.
Like maybe we all have that hidden side.
Yeah.
That part of ourselves we're trying to hide, hoping to find someone who will accept it, no judgment.
Maybe.
Maybe.
It's an interesting question for sure.
It is. And it makes you want to keep reading, right?
Yeah.
To see how it all plays out.
Yeah, and it kind of makes you think differently about what it means to find love and acceptance.
Definitely. So, are we ready to move on to the overall reception of the book?
Yeah, let's talk about what the readers thought
Okay.
of Scythe Sparrow.
All right. So, it seems like most readers loved it.
They did.
A lot of them called it their favorite in the series.
Yeah, the reviews were overwhelmingly positive. Of course, not everyone felt the same way.
Right.
Some reviewers felt the plot was a little lacking
Okay.
and that the characters weren't as developed
Yeah.
as in the previous books.
It's always interesting, right, how different readers connect with different parts of the story.
Totally.
I mean, what one person finds captivating, another might find kind of,
Yeah, and one reviewer even mentioned that they felt the series went downhill after the first book.
Yeah, I mean, it's not uncommon for readers to have, different opinions on different books in a series.
Right.
Sometimes it's just personal taste, Or maybe the author's style changed a bit, and it didn't quite click with some readers.
Yeah, I guess it just goes to show that even the most popular books won't connect with everyone.
Exactly.
Which is fine.
It's all part of the conversation, right?
Exactly.
Makes these deep dives so much more interesting to
Okay.
see all those different viewpoints.
For sure.
So speaking of different viewpoints, what else stood out to you about the reception of Scythe and Sparrow?
Yeah, so besides the plot and characters, a lot of the reviewers talked about the themes of healing and self-acceptance.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So how did those themes play out in the story?
Well, they're really connected with the idea of finding love
Okay.
and embracing your darkness, even if that darkness involves
A little bit of murder.
a little bit of murder.
I mean, hey, we've all got our quirks.
We do.
Right. But, I think it speaks to the power of fiction
It does.
to really explore those complex human emotions.
Right.
Like on the surface. This might seem like a lighthearted, maybe even absurd premise.
It's kind of out there.
It is.
A
It's
doctor and an assassin falling in love.
But, beneath the humor and the thrills,
Right.
there's this deeper exploration of trauma
Yeah.
and vulnerability and that search for connection.
So it's not just Fionn and Rose who are on this journey of self-discovery.
Right.
It sounds like the entire Kane family
All three books.
is wrestling with these themes.
Yeah, the fact that all three of them are drawn to women who share their dark inclinations is really fascinating.
It is, right. Makes you think.
It does.
Like maybe they're not just looking for romantic partners.
Uh-huh.
Maybe they're looking for,
Reflection of themselves.
yeah, like a sense of understanding that they haven't found anywhere else.
Like they see parts of themselves
Yeah,
reflected in these women.
Right.
Parts that maybe they've tried to suppress or deny.
totally. And by embracing those parts,
Uh-huh.
both in themselves and in their partners, they're finally able to find that acceptance and healing.
It's a powerful message, isn't it?
It really is.
It's like, it's okay to be different.
Yeah.
It's okay to have a dark side.
And it's okay to find love in the most unexpected places.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's definitely a unique premise for a romance series.
It is
Not your typical love triangle.
definitely not your typical love triangle.
And it's interesting how Weaver kind of brings all this together.
Yeah.
She manages to explore all these complex themes,
Yeah.
but still delivers the humor and the romance.
Right, because, readers come to this genre for a reason.
Exactly.
They want that happily ever after, that escape.
Yeah, and it sounds like she delivers,
She does.
but she also makes you think.
Right.
Right,
It's not just fluff.
right.
There's real depth there.
It's like she's found a way to balance that darkness and the light.
Absolutely, and I think that's what makes the Ruinous Love Trilogy so compelling.
Yeah.
It's not just a guilty pleasure, it's a story that stays with you. Makes you question your own perceptions of love and acceptance.
You know, one thing that really struck me about these reviews was how many people felt a real connection to these characters.
Yeah.
Like they saw themselves
Uh-huh.
reflected in Fionn and Rose and the rest of the Kane family.
That's a real testament to Brynne Weaver's skill as a writer.
It is.
She created these characters that feel so real,
I know.
so relatable,
Yeah.
and deeply human, even though,
Even though they're not.
they're murderers.
They're murderers. Yeah.
It's not easy to make a serial killer sympathetic.
No, it's not.
But she does it.
She pulls it off.
She does.
I think that's why this series resonates with so many people.
Because at the end of the day,
Yeah,
we all just want to be understood.
we do.
We all want to be accepted for
Yeah.
who we are, flaws and all.
And I think this series reminds us that even those who seem different, even those who make choices we might not understand,
Yeah,
they're still capable of love
of course.
and connection and redemption.
Absolutely.
It's a good reminder that we should never judge a book by its cover.
Or a person by their darkest secrets.
Exactly.
Right.
So if you're looking for a romance that's a little bit dark, a little bit twisted, and a whole lot of fun,
Scythe Sparrow.
Scythe Sparrow and the whole Ruinous Love Trilogy might be for you.
Definitely check it out.
And if this deep dive has piqued your interest,
Yeah,
we encourage you to dive in
go for it.
and discover the world of the Kane brothers for yourself.
You might be surprised by what you find.
You might be.
You might be.
And maybe you'll even be inspired to create your own dark comedic romance.
Ooh.
So remember that question we asked earlier?
Yeah.
If you were going to write one, what unique job would your killer character have?
I'm thinking maybe a baker who uses a secret ingredient,
Oh, I like that.
or a librarian who shelves a little something extra.
Ooh, that's good. That's good.
The possibilities are endless.
They really are.
It makes you realize that creativity has no bounds, and that even the darkest concepts can be explored with humor and heart.
That's right.
So let's get out there and create.
Yeah,
And who knows, maybe your idea will be the next big hit.
it could be.
But for now,
Yeah.
we'll leave you with that thought.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Scythe Sparrow and the Ruinous Love Trilogy.
Hope you enjoyed it.
We hope you had fun exploring this unexpected world where romance meets murder.
Yeah.
Until next time, happy reading, everyone.